short, you draw it shorter. If it's somewhere in the middle, you just kind of guess. The last relationship is the relationship between the bottom lip and the chin. And again, those three things apply. If it's long, draw it longer. If it's short, draw it shorter. If it's somewhere in the middle, you just kind of guess. Okay? And so if you follow that rule, even if you draw something very simplified, it's going to be that person, and it's going to have a lot more life, than if you just thought it up in your head. Now, what I do as the subway surfer, stand right here, is I draw people on the subway. I make fun of them. If you go to subwaysurfer.com, I've been up there since 2006, and I have drawn people hilariously since 2006. Hold this microphone. Okay? So,
sure.
Can you hold it? Yeah. So what I usually do when I see a person, when you're drawing from life, can everybody hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. The first thing you want to do when you're drawing from life, first of all, don't take out your sketch pad, stupid, and just let them see you with your big sketch pad in the cafe or on the train. Don't do that. They're gonna say, hey, that guy's drawing me, that girl's drawing me, and they might come over and try to beat you up. That has happened. No, not the beating, the trying. But, so what you want to do is you want to be incognito because you really want to get the face. You really want to get it. Okay? And so what I usually do is I usually have a notebook. The biggest notebook that I can find, because a notebook is something that, anybody can have a notebook. Maybe he's writing, his lesson for college. So you want to be incognito about it so that you can look at the person. All right. Thank you. All right, we're going to start some drawing now. So what I like is the three-quarter view. What I like about the three-quarter view, I hope you can see, what I like about the three-quarter view is that it gives me the best of both worlds. It gives me the side of the face, it gives me the front of the face. I usually start at the nose. Reason for that is the nose is in the center of the face, and I can work that angle. Okay? Work everything around that angle. Now I usually draw the left, I'm right-handed, so I usually draw the left eye first. Reason for that is if I started with the right eye, I would cover up the left eye with my hand, and then it would be out of alignment, and I don't want that. So this is what I usually start with. Okay? And again, when you're drawing somebody from life, like I said, don't take out the big sketchbook, take out a notebook and start, drawing there, okay? Observe your subject for a few minutes. You want to take a mental snapshot of what that person looks like first. And what you want to do is, it's a funny thing, you want to take a snapshot in your head and you want to draw the picture that's in your head, and occasionally look at the person to see how you're doing. Does that make sense? Most people, what they do, they're looking at the person, they're looking at the person, they're looking at the person, and you'll kind of get a drawing of the person, but you might just miss. I've found that the picture that you're drawing in your head is actually sometimes more accurate and more hilarious than, actually observing the person. And that's because, like I said in the beginning, we all think in caricature terms. So, to continue, right there. Okay, so right away I say he's got that hair. Okay, now the hair, when you're drawing hair, don't think of the hair like it's a helmet, like it's a shape. Don't think of, in fact, don't even think about, I'm drawing hair, I'm drawing a mouth, I'm drawing a nose. Think about, and this is something basic, think about I'm drawing shapes. Relate to it like that. You can get so caught up in drawing the shapes that you can even forget you're drawing a person. And I'll tell you a story about what happened one time. I was at the Basquiat exhibit, okay, along with I was with my friend Kenley Disneyland Dillard. I think he's in the house. Anyway, I was there drawing, on this big piece of drawing paper, that they had for autographs. All of a sudden, this guy comes in and he has this little tiny goatee. Okay? I pointed at his goatee. I started laughing. You're not allowed to look. I started.
Best day in my life.
Best day. Best day of your life?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it a better day. Okay. Anyway, I started to draw this guy, made fun of his goatee, made fun of his big forehead, you know, and his kids were there. I was making fun of this guy in front of his kids, and he was laughing like crazy. Okay? Finished the caricature, shook his hand, he left the room, you know, and then the curator comes running up to me and says, "You know who you just drew?" And I said, "Yeah, I drew a guy with a big forehead." She told me, "You just drew Bruce Springsteen." Oh, no. I made fun of Bruce Springsteen in front of his kid, and he loved it. And he loved it because he got a chance to be treated like a regular guy. But the point of the story is I was so focused and so into drawing the individual shapes and relationships that I didn't even recognize him. And he was this close to me. Anyway, to continue on. So, we're almost done. Okay, so, and I'm using, the tool that I'm using here, and it's great for drawing, is a Lyra graphite pencil, 6B. You can buy these things at, you know, at New York Central Art Supply, great store. Very expensive store, but it's worth it. This tool is about $1.50, something like that. You know, very worth it. Okay, so we put in this. Now that I have the helmet for the hair, you know, I'm just, you know, just going. 3 minutes? You got 3 minutes. Okay, just going. Okay. Now this right here is a rough, but you can pretty much see the elements of the caricature. You know, here it's the same elements of the face here, right? Now, if I got 3 minutes, right? I got 2 minutes now. Here, we'll put this. Can you hold that? I'm going to simplify this even more. Now that I know what his face does, I'm going to try to replicate it without looking. You know, see, it's what I told you about having the image in your head. You know, he's got the little beady eyes.
It's true.
Yeah. You know? But
can't deny it.
Yeah, can't deny it. Can't. Okay, you got the little goatee thing there. You gotta make those noises, you know?
It's pronounced goatee, by the way.
Goatee. Well, you know, in my neighborhood,
us black people, we say goatee.
It's a black thing. It's a hood thing. You know, all right. Gotta rep my hood, baby. Anyway, so like I said, once you have the image in your head, now you can just kind of freelance it. It'd be fun. And since you're doing this for comics anyway, you know, now you want to kind of play with it and make it, you know, kind of simplified. You don't want to add, you know, all the detail. You just kind of want to, you know, get a basic idea of what the guy's face does, so you can kind of simplify it for your cartoon. Okay? So now something like, I might use him for, you know, I would say a villain or an anti-hero or something like that. But this is simple enough that I can draw over and over again. So when you're doing your caricature, you want to do your caricature as exaggerated as possible, you know, with as much detail as you can, and then you want to look at the sketch and you want to draw it simplified, because remember, whether you're an animator, you know, or a comic book artist, you're going to be drawing this a couple of times. If you're an animator, you know that whole 24 frames a second, that's 24 drawings. I mean, you don't want to do 24 drawings where you got all of this junk going on. You got to simplify it. So, I'm all done? 1 minute, okay, so I got 1 minute, I can draw 1 minute. So if I was going to simplify this even more now for ultimate animation, this is how I would do it. This is a Tombow brush pen. I make the nose like this, okay? The eyebrows go up, tiny eyes, mouth, goatee, chin, ear, okay? Hair, 3 of these. That's pretty much, that's how it would be, you know? So now, based on the caricature, we've got this kind of cool cartoon, you know? of the guy that you might have saw on the train, in a cafe, on a bus, you know, and now it has a little more personality, a little more reality than you normally would have if you were making this up out of your head. And you can do this with any character, you know, like I said, about the stereotypes. Thanks, man. We all know who the stereotypes are, so you look for those nerd characters, you look for those tough guy characters, you look for those characters who represent cops or, you know, whatever, you know, and then you kind of caricature them, and then you slowly kind of subtract stuff. There's a lot more to cover here. You know, if you, I know, we're wrapping up. If you write me at cartoonsforyou2@AOL.com, you know, ask about the ebook. It's inexpensive. You know, it's a lot of information in there, and you know, you will learn how to do this. Thank you very much for your time.